and Rosso. Today we have a longer video for you guys. It's going to be more so a little bit of a diary going back on how we first started, what we did when we first started, how ideas came to be, and walk through of that first year of all the growing pains, the successes, and really just kind of a summary to catch you guys up on where we're at today because, you know, we've mentioned it before. We started with a $100 investment each. And now we've grown it to where we have thousands of dollars of inventory. We're doing multiple sales a day, and we also have actual assets under our business now. And we're looking to expand the business model. And it all started with a $100 investment each.
Well, I think it's a little more nuanced than that. I think it really all started when we went bowling. You see, when we first were starting to dream of this, we would go bowling to a local bowling alley in our neighborhood, $3 games. And we would sit and we would talk about. Well, what we do, how we earn money, what can we do with this, what can we do with our time, the one asset in life that we can really need to leverage.
Yeah. Our most valuable resource is, being in our young 20s is our time.
Exactly. That and our full head of hair.
Crazy one going off.
Exactly. I need to get my hair cut too. But we were thinking, what can we do to monetize? We were debating, do we want to go rent on Turo? Do we want to, go be pressure washing people's houses, houses and front walks, just doing it like that. Mm-hmm. But then we really realized that the best way to do it is to first alleviate ourselves from the risk and make an LLC. We had to step away.
Right.
Okay, so that way in case things do go poorly, it's not us.
Right.
It's the LLC.
And can you imagine, this is us at a bowling alley on a Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're working our 9-to-5s and being like, well, we hang out every weekend. We spend a lot of time together. We might as well make money. And now we're bowling every week to break up the monotony of our 9-to-5. And now we're talking about starting an LLC.
Yeah, exactly.
So, that's exactly it. So we talked about how we monetize our time, and the idea of an LLC came up because of essentially the separation factor. Right?
Yeah.
Is it's only an investment of $100, but let's say I think we are literally talking about what if we, sold someone an electronic and it gets to their house and it catches on fire and burns down their house and they try to sue us.
Yeah. Or one of the first times that we sold, and we'll get more into these in later videos, is we sold a Harley Davidson mug. And we're thinking, well, if it was broken, okay, he spills liquid over himself, it's a thin shot, but heck, why not add one more layer of security just to really double down to make sure that we're okay?
Right. And this kind of goes into all the conversations that we were having, which I think were important, but there was a lot of what ifs, maybes, ands, and that's where I think that we finally just sat down and said,
let's do it,
right?
Yeah.
There's what ifs, ands, but it's you're never going to know what those what ifs are until you pull the trigger and start taking action and doing something.
Exactly.
And so that's where we took the first steps in. We were sitting over at his place on his couch, literally pulled up the laptop and hopped right on to some videos on how to start an LLC, the steps that were incorporated. Well, lucky for me, my dear friend Mr. Rink here actually knew the process pretty well.
Yeah, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I do work full-time in the finance industry in a bank, okay? But that allowed me to know what documents were needed for business accounts compared to just personal accounts. Because business accounts it's a different standard, different barrier, different documents are needed. And so what we first did, we went onto the Secretary of State's website. Okay, pretty cut and dry. You fill in what you have to first check the database, make sure that LLC name isn't already taken. Because if it is, tough luck.
Yeah, beat you to it. First come, first serve.
Exactly. So we go in, we fill out all of our information. We paid that in Colorado. When we did it was only $1. Okay, we only had to pay one single dollar.
Business friendly out here.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's. I mean, guys, it's $1.
Yeah,
right?
If you can't afford $1, then
go get a 9-to-5.
Exactly. So we first up the LLC, and then next we had to get articles of incorporation and operating agreements. Basically, those are just documents how the business can be run, who put in what, who's in charge of whom, who's a manager, who's an owner, who's an investor.
Which, if I recall correctly, it was as simple as Googling a template and downloading the template and then filling in the actual blank spots on it that they leave with your name.
Yeah.
And then saving that as a PDF, and boom, all of a sudden you're good to go.
Yeah, it was a Word doc away, and that's a Google search away.
Right.
So it doesn't have to be really complicated. It doesn't have to be really intricate. It just has to be right.
Right.
And now
read through it.
Exactly.
Half of it you might not understand. That's fine. It's a template. It's made by other people. you're pretty much checking a box for your business on how you want to run it.
Exactly. And then the final document we had to get an EIN number. And so for everyone here, your social security number, it's how the government keeps track of you and taxes you and yada, yada, yada. EIN number is pretty much the same thing, but for a business, employer identification number. Okay, you go onto the IRS website, there is a time frame. So you have to do it all in one fell swoop in 15 minutes. And you have to do it between their working hours of like 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Pacific Eastern time for whatever reason, because it's the government. Okay, so you have to do it at a certain time. However, open 7 days a week online. Okay, you go in, you fill it all out. You have to save that. I cannot stress this enough. You have to save that document, and they're very clear about it, because if you lose it, they cannot regenerate it for you. It is gone, and so you have to save it. Keep it with your secure documents. We personally have our own copies each, and we have a digital copy that we saved on our mutual Google server, which is Gmail. Okay, so once we have all those documents, what it really did is that when you walk into the bank, you're able to start right away. You don't have to, because they'll try to turn you away because no one knows the steps. But if you got the papers,
right?
Yeah, you're all set.
Well, and I think that's an interesting take. So, like, you guys look this up online. You can see like, what do I need specifically to open a business bank account? And it'll say you need X, Y, and Z. If you don't have those documents, Google it.
Exactly.
Right? Google how to get these documents. Once you have all these documents, what we ran into were being two young guys trying to set up a business account and take things seriously. We had people kind of scoff at us and not take us seriously, or maybe question our legitimacy. And what I mean by this is like, we wanted to set up an appointment to go set up a bank account. Like, oh, well, we got to make sure that you're legit, so you got to come in person. Okay, let's schedule a time in person. And then all of a sudden you're on hold for 30 minutes, and then they hang up on you. And, we were running into issues like that. And then we finally said, hey, you know what, credit union is going to be the way to go for our bank account.
Yeah.
Now that we had our EIN number.
Yeah.
Right? So, even showing up to the credit union local, they even were like, oh, you don't have all your paperwork. Yeah, we do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? Well, here's your checklist. Make sure you have everything. Okay, we have everything. Okay, so there's a little pushback, but you guys just remember, like, do your research beforehand, get your stuff together, go in and get it done. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, it's due diligence. Okay, you gotta make sure you have it all. But once we had that, we were able to open for $100 each into the bank account. That's when we realized, okay, well, now what?
Right.
Where are we going to go from here? We have an LLC. Great.
Yep.
So
we have a bank account.
Yeah.
We're a legit legal entity now.
Yeah, exactly. We have that degree of separation. And so what we really had to do is we just doubled down and we said, well, let's go to a garage sale. Let's just start there. Let's say we put our $200 in, and then we immediately took $100 out, okay, in small bills, okay, because you want to show up with small bills for two reasons. Being able to make it easier for them and make it easier for yourself. Right. Okay.
You're also anchoring a price point. When you pull out $1, they go, well, this guy has $1.
Exactly.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves
of course,
here,
of course,
right?
of course. So our first garage sale, what were we buying?
Yeah. Well, so now we're wrapping up year 2.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is when we very first started kind of catching you guys up. So the idea was we started a business. We saw YouTube videos on, like, how people got money, like, how started making money. So we're like, hey, this is a garage sale in the town. Let's just go over there. I believe the first place we went to, there was like Funko Pops and everything. I think we picked up a couple of those. Mm-hmm. But really, like, what stands out to me, and what we'll go over later in this video is like what we actually sold. But what stood out to me is that we met this guy who was pretty much like giving away the last little bit. It was Sunday. He had already done a garage sale Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
So I think there was like a couple golf clubs left, and then a Harley Davidson mug.
Yeah, it was a Harley Davidson mug. It was a little chipped, to be completely fair, but it was still. He said, "Hey, it's free. Otherwise, it's going in the trash." Well, why not? It's free inventory.
So we take out our money from the bank, our $100, in like 5s, 10s, and 1s, and we pretty much buy a golf club for $5 and get a coffee mug for free.
Yeah, fantastic deal.
So, but the reason why we jumped on the golf club is because I knew that there was a Play It Again Sports, which is essentially just like a refab. I don't even know if that's the right word, but a place where like they buy used sports equipment, they sell it, right? Yeah. They resell themselves. So we literally took that golf club and then took it to Play It Again Sports, and they gave us like $12 for it.
Yeah, exactly. And it was cash right then and there. $5 into $12. Fantastic. And we had the mug to boot.
Yeah, so we doubled our money plus the mug. well, now we're stuck with a mug, and it's like, I can't sell this to a sports store. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know who to sell this for. And that's what led us into Facebook Marketplace. You know, we were thinking it's somewhere local, it's free to list, it's, you know, my fans and friends and family have sold on Facebook Marketplace.
Anyone can. If you have a Facebook account, you can sell on Facebook Marketplace.
Right. So we spent all this time. We made a Facebook account for our business.
Oh, beautiful.
And, you know, it was great, right?
Yeah.
We listed our mug, and then like golf grips that we had picked up.
Yeah, free golf grips from the golf clubs.
Yeah, stuff like that, right? So we listed, and we got some interest, and this guy wanted to come pick up that mug. And you know, long story short, we met him at a Home Depot. There's a police officer right out front there. It's the middle of the day, right?
Super
like,
safe,
everything like that, right? The guy shows up. He picks up the Harley Davidson mug. I think he bought it for $10 or something,
$10.
right? So we pretty much turned our $5 day at the garage sale into $15.
Yeah.
3 extra money
Easy.
in a week. But the problem was that I noticed was like, dude, it was a lot of work to set up this meeting. Like, what if the guy didn't show up?
Exactly.
Felt like you had to be safe.
Yeah.
You know, and
public space. You wouldn't invite a stranger over to your house.
right. And how are you going to scale this? Right. That's a lot of time just to make $10. And you know,
a week.
Yeah, and for some people, you know, hey, $10, you know, that's a meal or whatever. But you know, when you look at like, hey, this is a business, it's not really what I'm living off of. It's a business that we're looking to scale and grow.
Yeah.
I just knew and noticed right away.
There's a bottleneck.
There's a bottleneck, and it was something that him and I couldn't really do together.
Yeah.
Right. It was something that at 6 p.m. on a Thursday, you know, he's not going to drive up to my place to go sell something for $10, and vice versa.
Yeah, exactly. Like we live, you know, we live close enough that we can see each other constantly, but we live far enough away that it's not a drop of a hat.
Yeah, and we're real people. Like I don't, you know, sometimes I don't want to get off the couch to go.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
make
I love hanging out with you, but you know, it's
fantastic.
a great time.
Yeah, well, always a great time.
Exactly.
But everyone can relate.
Of course.
Right. So that's where Facebook Marketplace very quickly, I think, fell off. And we really haven't gotten back into Facebook Marketplace.
No, we get into Facebook Marketplace only to look at buying ourselves, but that's a separate video, separate conversation.
That's how we source some of our items.
Exactly.
Actually, some really good items.
It does. But anyway.
So then that started being like, okay, well, you know, we can ship things on Facebook Marketplace. You know, but the thing for me is like Facebook Marketplace seemed to be really successful in local markets.
Yes.
Right. So like a 20-mile radius of where you live. Right.
Yeah. Your major metropolitan town over at most.
Sure. Yeah. And for, you know, dude, if you guys live in New York City and that's great for you, great. It's for us. It just didn't seem like it was scalable.
No.
And so very quickly we threw out the idea of eBay. Like, what is eBay? You know, how I see people selling things on eBay. And before I had sold like Magic the Gathering cards back in high school on eBay a couple times just from a personal account. So I knew roughly like things do sell. Yeah. And you know, there's I think a little bit of concern with eBay just being like the unknown of it.
Yeah. No, there was concern about eBay because we didn't understand that because it's free for the consumer. For us, it's not. Okay, for the seller, we have to pay some fees.
Right, that's what it was. It was the fees.
Yeah, there was, you know, like, okay, we sell something. Is there enough of a margin that we can still make this scalable?
Right.
And so, just because you have a bigger population stores doesn't mean you're still going to get the data you want.
Yeah. And having to ship items, right? The cost of shipping isn't cheap.
No, it's not. You would imagine with how much people pay in taxes that you get a bit of a break, but no, the post office still likes to be the post office.
It's actually the private company eBay itself that gives us the most discounted rate. So
yeah, exactly.
Just throwing it out there right now. If you're selling on eBay, buy your labels through and from eBay.
Yeah. 100%.
Right. I mean, you can go. There's other places like Pirate Ship and stuff. Like, go for it, but like, don't go to the post office and buy your labels.
No.
Like. No. Just don't do that.
Yeah, just go use eBay as a middleman.
Yeah,
it makes it so
way
much cheaper. Oh, so much cheaper.
Yeah.
So
we make our eBay store.
Oh yeah,
right?
Beautiful.
And we realized, damn, it's pretty easy to actually start listing things on eBay. Like we started knocking out like, you know, we went to another garage sale that weekend. We listed like 3 more items, 4 more items, and then. You know, we started saying, okay, well, we sold the first 2. We're just going to reinvest 100% of our profit. Our margins are really thin because we only had like $100 at the time, $200 at the time.
Yeah.
But you know, things were selling on eBay quickly, and we didn't know why they were selling. We were just like, we just went to the garage sales, got things for cheap, sold them for more, and it was working.
Exactly. We didn't have to rely on our local neighborhood to sell a thing.
Right.
We could sell to somebody in
Missouri, Wisconsin.
Yeah,
they're going all over the place.
Exactly.
Right away, you know, and so there were small items like golf grips and, you know, maybe mugs, coffee mugs, and
some books. There
Sure.
were there was it was an oddball because don't forget we unless you have it already, you have to get shipping supplies. Okay, we
Right.
went to Home Depot for some of our boxes originally,
Right.
and that would ate into our overhead because
it's like, dude, you sell an item for $20 and you bought $5 box, and then you pay $8 for shipping. You're like,
at what point are you going to make money?
and the eBay fees, you're like, wow, good thing I bought this for $1 because I only profited $2.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. So,
But that's why early on, like, we were really like razor thin with our margins, and we still are.
yeah.
But
we
know,
have some healthy fat on us.
Yeah, and we got pretty lucky with our early sales. I mean, to be
yeah.
honest, and we're gonna dive into them because I think it's
you're
really
gonna-
important to see what these early sales were.
You're gonna love them. Best early sales ever.
Yeah, I mean, just pure luck on some of them,
Oh,
right?
dumb luck.
But yeah, so we were running an eBay business now, officially, out of a 2-bedroom apartment that I was living in.
In a
And
2-bedroom apartment I was living in.
yeah, and Joe would, come all the way up my way, and, we'd go garage selling, and then come back, and then we would literally take pictures on my bed of these items,
Yeah.
and then store them in that room, and then when they sold, we would box them up and go drop them off. Like, we were doing what? One item a week? One sale a week?
Yeah, one sale a week, roughly.
And we were, like, loving it.
Yeah, because it was new to us. It was a new way to make money. That was ours.
Yeah, we would be at our 9 to 5s and get a little bing on eBay once a week and being like, we just made $6.
Yeah, exactly. $7 to $10. That thing that we bought for $2, we sold. Now we need $8.
Yes.
Great deals.
We did all that work up front, and we got a little reward at the end. It was cool. It was a good,
very nice.
And that's what got the ball rolling, right?
Yeah.
And with eBay specifically, we noticed that we could be at work and have items sell, and that we could set parameters up in our eBay store that were able to allow us to still have a work-life balance and run this business while obviously it's still part-time for us and not full-time.
Yeah.
It just gave us more control over our business, which I
like.
I think it's good.
It gave us some level of autonomy because we controlled it. It didn't control us. We were able to set the things that we needed to set. We could set, how we want our shipping, how we calculated it. We set our return policy, what we expected, what we wanted. We're going to get into that in a quick second. But it gave us the ability to choose how we wanted this thing to run.
Right.
Which a Facebook Marketplace, while nice, it really lacked that autonomy.
And maybe you can do that on Facebook.
Yeah.
But for us, it's not. It didn't make sense. It wasn't.
It wasn't feasible.
eBay just was better and easier right away.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
And we had success with it right away. So. But yeah, and then speaking of policies, right? This was a whole nother learning factor for us. So now that we're on eBay, right now we're thinking okay, well, now we're shipping items. What is our shipping policy going to be like? What is our return policy going to be like? And Joe and I were, starting to be more fascinated with the conversation of, well, what are the goals of our business?
Yeah. Where do we want to go?
Right, and we saw these badges on eBay, and eBay kind of guided us in the right, hey, you want to be a top seller, and here's what you need for that. And so, we started playing around with the policies again. Watched YouTube videos on what these policies were and what they mean. They can be a little confusing. Maybe we'll do a video later on if you guys are interested about how our policies are set up. But yeah, without going too much into debt, right? We set up a shipping policy, we set up a return policy, and then we set up a general eBay policy. And this includes things like, what is your schedule? Are you going to allow international shipping? Or is there certain countries that you don't want to ship items to? Completely up to you. A lot of customizing, which is cool. But yeah, so that's what we had started to do with our eBay, and we started to learn from that, right? Do we want to start doing free shipping on our items? Do we want customers to pay for those items?
And one of the things that free shipping that because in the beginning we charged people for shipping. It would be we would measure it out when we were taking the listing. When we were listing down, we would measure it out. We say weight, and it's not the weight of the item. It's the estimated weight after it's all boxed up, because we're putting in the dimensions for how big. So we have to say, okay, it's it's 6 inches by 8 inches by 4 inches, and it's not a perfect cube. You're dealing with a cup. You're dealing with like a radio. You're dealing with weird shaped items. Okay. Yeah. And so we have to say, okay, well, it's this, but then we have to make it a little bigger. It weighs a little bit more, and that would be we would charge people for that. Okay, and then we experimented with flat rate shipping. Just hey, $5 doesn't matter. Okay,
Right.
We'll bite the bullet or you'll bite the bullet either way. And then we just recognized we just have to rip the Band-Aid off and recognize free shipping is the best way to go because most consumers expect and want free shipping.
Right.
It's at this point in the day of Amazon Prime, if the fact that they can't get it in sooner is really like the only thing that's horrible for them. But people expect free shipping for better or worse.
And that's what works for our business. Like, we experimented with everything, and I will say, like starting out with our margins being so thin, it was like you guys are paying for shipping.
Yeah,
like,
we have to. You have
and
to.
we still had good success. We were still selling items and proportionally doing pretty well with them. But it was conversations like with my girlfriend, with his girlfriend, with our friends and family, right? And even just like our personal consumer habits, right? If something online says free shipping, and the other one doesn't, you're probably more inclined to choose the one that says free shipping. Like free is a fun word. And then, let's say you're going to the checkout, you get an item, right? It's like $10, and you're like, oh, dude, $10 for this, love it. And then all of a sudden you get to checkout, and it's like $29.99. You realize that there's $20 in shipping. You're gonna be like, I'm getting scammed.
Yeah, I'm getting out.
Right, and so, it's a safe bet overall when you guys are first starting, and at least that's what we thought.
Oh, yeah.
And then we did the flat rate, because then we started realizing, like, oh, things around this size, it's about $8 in shipping.
Yeah.
So we'll just do a flat rate for $5.
Exactly. Like items that we have a lot of, which we'll get into, but items that we have a lot that you can scale. Okay, once you know the weight, then you're like, okay, it's going to be this much no matter what. Right. The only unknown at that point is the distance, because it's going to be more expensive to ship from, here to, I don't know, New York compared to here to Utah.
Right. Yep.
But we are lucky because we are in the Colorado Rockies, and we are pretty much plumb center in the United States, so it's relatively equidistant for the most part. The Panhandle, like Florida is a little bit wonky, Hawaii is a little wonky.
Southern California is going to be far.
Yeah,
Alaska, Australia, sure.
Yeah. Well, that's international, but we'll get into it. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so we have now transitioned to where most things are free shipping, and we just bake the cost of shipping into the cost of the item.
Yeah.
Right, and it's more of a marketing thing. That cost of shipping is still baked in, so it's not really a different outside of a marketing perspective.
Yeah, we in the item we bake the cost of shipping into it just to help make sure that we still aren't losing money off the item itself. Because I mean, at the end of the day, let's be honest here, we're in this business to make money. Right. If you're not, that's fine, and more power to you. Right. If it's a lot or a little, that's fine. We're not saying it's wrong.
Well, we started an LLC, not a nonprofit.
Exactly.
So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Great write-off for nonprofits, though.
Yeah, one day.
One day, exactly.
Yeah, we'll have to talk more about that later on.
Exactly. So, another one of the policies that we set, well, at least Rosso here set, which was fantastic, was that with a 24-hour policy for shipping, how you same-day shipping, because that's what you have to have two criteria. Two, at least off the top of my head, to be a top-rated seller on eBay, you got to have same-day shipping and you got to have free 30-day returns. Right. Okay, you have to do those just to kind of as a security.
And there's options within that, right? So like free 30-day returns, right? We have free 30-day returns. Buyer pays for return. So what that means is they essentially pay for it. Then we can check and confirm they sent us the right item. They didn't just send us a rock. The item's not broken or whatever, right? Then they get a full refund for everything,
including the shipping label that they paid for.
Right, and so that's our policy. It's a little give and take. Yeah, right?
Exactly. It ensures that we're not going to be mailed back their broken DVD player that they bought our DVD player. They swapped it out, and then now we're stuck with a broken DVD player and no money.
Yeah. Which so far, all of our buyers have been really honest and professional. It's just like, again, let's just be real people. Yeah. There's people out there who are looking to take advantage of people. Exactly. Right? Like, we're not saying everyone's like that. We're not even saying the majority of people are like that. No. It's just, it is a reality that could happen, and that's what we don't even want to have that conversation. No. So we're just stopping it up front.
Yeah, exactly. And we're gratuitous with our returns, because we've had returns. It's part of the business. It's part of the cost. Yep. But we play fair. If it's broken, it's broken.
Right. Yep. And so then that leads us into like our 24-hour shipping policy, which really has helped us out. So it allows us to have same-day shipping, but what it is essentially we just like changed our hours of working operation. Mm-hmm. So like we have days off, right? So like Saturday and Sunday technically are days off, and as long as you have, I think, 5 days or whatever it is, I don't know, but Monday through Friday, we just set our hours to when someone buys something early in the morning. It doesn't count as has to be shipped out that day. It still counts as same day shipping, but our hours of working are like, I don't know, let's call it like 5 p.m. to midnight. Mm-hmm. So if someone buys something at 6 a.m., we just have to get it out by the end of day tomorrow.
Yeah, Exactly.
And so it still counts in the algorithm as same day shipping and everything like that. However, it does buy ourselves at least 24 hours of time. Now, most of the time we're sending it out day of anyways, but why not have the free 24 hours?
Exactly.
And you still get that badge of same day shipping.
And also, I mean, this is coming from a shipping perspective here. Imagine the frustration where you go out to the post office, you drop something off, and then you come back, and then another thing sells. Well, then you have to go back again. Like, you'd almost have to time it where you go to the post office at the end of the day, right at that cutoff.
Right.
Whereas this policy says, hey, I go today. Oh, great. Well, it has to go out by tomorrow anyway, but it just sold right after. Because it's happened to us.
At the post office. And you literally get a sale, and you're like, ah, man.
Yeah, it's great. I wish I could have brought that too, but I'm not going to. But luckily, by the time I get back, we're probably going to have some more sales.
Yeah, and it's just an idea for you guys, and it's personally
Do what
like
works for you.
what we do, and the reason why we do it is because it's our business, and this is what works for us.
Yeah, exactly. And so I also think that one of the big things that we learned was sell-through rates. That was being able to understand what that means, and we'll break it down a little bit for you later. Like, we'll go into the nuts and bolts, but 10,000 foot view is how many of them have been listed versus how many of them have been sold, or how many of them have been sold over how many have been listed in the past 90 days. For whatever reason, eBay, unless you pay for a business store, thank you, which we do, okay, we'll only set for 90 days.
Right.
But
which is plenty enough data.
Oh, of course.
Like, it really works. I mean, and to be honest, even though we have the ability to look further out, we still just do that.
The 90 days is fantastic.
But the idea is that so like we learned, okay, free shipping is awesome, right? It works for us. It's something that just works for other buyers and everything like that. And then it also rolls into, like we talked about early on, how we felt we were lucky, right? And being lucky was that we were buying items with decent sell-through rates with high margins that we didn't even know why or how. Or,
it was dumb luck. Some things we would hold on to for weeks and weeks, and we still even have.
Right.
And other stuff, we bought it that day, and then 2 days after that, it sells. And we wouldn't know why, because it'd be like not to give too many spoilers, but like a smoke detector, okay, or something like that, and it wouldn't make any sense.
Right. And so that led us into, again, wanting to learn more, and honestly just kind of saturating ourselves with more information. And so the sell-through rate, Mr. Rink here is giving you guys the 1,000-yard stare on like what it is and how it is. If you guys are more interested in it, we'll talk more about it. And I think if you just watch more of our content, like eventually, it's going to just be a known.
Yeah.
But the idea is that, we started getting, okay, well now we want to start getting more items that sell quicker. And I think we've done a really good job on that this year.
Yeah.
Our first year, I would argue that we were just trying to find things that sold for much more than we were buying them for.
Yeah, we were trying to make a big fat margin, but sometimes that took time.
Yeah. Still worked very well.
Oh, of course, still works fantastic.
And some business models, like hey, if you buy something for $1 and it sells for $10,000, but it's going to take 2 years to sell. Sure, that could be your business model.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you buy something that's like, you buy it for 10 and you're only going to profit $1 on it, but you can sell 1,000 of them a day, sure.
Yeah.
Totally different business model, right?
Exactly.
And that was actually a big conversation that we kind of had because we started noticing items that we sold. Like, for example, we bought a big conglomerate of wool.
Oh, yeah.
We bought like 80 things of wool for $1 a piece, and they're selling for $14.99. After shipping fees and yada, yada, yada,
like
I think we were profiting $10.
Yeah, because we had, at that time, we had $5 flat rate shipping because we figured that. $14.99 plus, so it's like $20 to the consumer. Right. We made 10 on the tail end.
Right, and the sell-through rate was maybe lower, like 30% or whatever.
30, 40.
But it's just cram mentality.
Oh, yeah.
You have so much wool for so much margin.
Exactly.
And
it's insulting to not buy it.
Right, and then you sell it, right, and you're like, cool, made $10.
Oh, yeah.
Right, and then we started getting things like we had a Betty Boop jacket, which we're going to show you guys here because it was that good, right? It's like we bought it for $25, $20, whatever, and then it sells for $170, but it's just we only had one of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Versus the wool we were selling every single day.
Yeah, so it as Mr. Ross was saying, it's first basers versus home runs.
Right.
Okay, it's like some things will get on base, and that's how you win the game. Others say, hey, you got to go all out. You got to get the big swing in it.
Mm-hmm. And we were talking like, hey, well, which one do we want to do? Do we want to niche down? Well, as you can see behind us, some of our inventory is a little bit of everything. We haven't niched down yet. And so, our argument was kind of like, well, I mean, if we can throw money at something and turn it into more money, why would we say no?
Exactly.
Right? $1 into 10 or, 100 into 1,000.
Yeah. Why not do both?
Why not do both?
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And so that was kind of our mentality. But it did allow us to focus more on sell-through rate because I don't want to hold on to something for 5 years. Or I don't want to buy something because we bought stuff that literally just will never sell.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry about that, everyone.
Yeah. We had to go to a quick smoke break.
So, I mean, yeah, we learned a lot in our first year. And I think it's something that we just continued to be successful with. And we're still learning and we still make mistakes.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So, but yeah, so after our first summer of selling, going into our second summer, we noticed that we had success with certain items, and we saw certain trends, and so I think like we were super excited for our second summer of garage sales because we're like we have more capital now, and we know what we're looking for, and we've already exposed ourselves to so many items that we know sell well.
Yeah, exactly.
We're still going to learn about new items, which we sure have this year.
Oh God, yeah, we've learned some nice things.
But we went in with more knowledge, more money, more information, and I would say that we saw that leverage of information and knowledge this year really skyrocket Rankin Rosso to be successful.
Oh yeah, I think that is, we have grown this business faster than we could really believe in the beginning. And I think one of the fun inside jokes with us is apples to oranges, we have fatter margins than the Apple company. It's like we're dealing with 30-40% margins because we know what we're looking for. Obviously, you don't know until you know or until you see it. You'll recognize certain patterns, certain things, what sells well on eBay, what sells well on other platforms. Because we're right now on eBay. There may be talks about other platforms later.
Mercari, Poshmark.
Exactly.
Back to Facebook Marketplace. Who knows?
Exactly. So, but I think we really want to get into the fun meat and potatoes about showing off some of those first early items.
Right, and I agree. And I think that hopefully you guys understand and respect the transparency of what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're not perfect, but I think a big part of what we want to do is show you guys the numbers of what we're doing, the receipts behind our actions, because, I'm confident that we're going to be able to grow this business into $1 million business.
I'm confident.
And it might not just be eBay. And so there's going to be other things that we're adding in, and we just wanted to really personally document this for the 65-year-old version of us.
Yeah, exactly.
With less hair and less time.
Yeah.
To be able to go back and be like, wow, we're grateful that we didn't sit on the couch and waste our weekends away.
Yeah, well, and not stopping at the what ifs and hows and what we do, all that
we
stuff.
did this.
Exactly, we're here. Yeah. We're here. We have the receipts and we're here to show them to you folks.
Yeah, and that's the biggest difference. It's like, the difference is taking action, right? Saying we want to do this versus we are doing this.
Journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Yeah, and that is what we want to share with you guys is each step. Yeah. And so that when we look at the 5-year, 10-year timeline, like, people aren't going to be like, oh, it's impossible.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's completely possible. It just takes time, effort.
You got to leverage it.
Yeah.
Okay, sports fans, you ready to see the numbers? We're ready to show them to you.
So let's go ahead and get our faces a little bit out of the way. So this is our eBay store. Welcome, everyone. What we've done is this is last year's numbers. We're going to do another video where we will jump into this year's numbers because I think it's very different. It's going to be awesome. This is also going to be a little bit of nostalgia for us.
Of course.
So we're going to be able to see what we're going through. So these are some of the first items that we sold.
We have the Coca-Cola trays and the vintage camping gear that are both fantastic items.
I believe this went to like Guam.
Yeah, I went to Guam or Puerto Rico, which we didn't recognize because we didn't realize it would cover all everywhere within the United States jurisdiction.
Right.
But we still sold it. We made a decent amount on that. What were the numbers? It was
If we go back here.
Yeah.
What? So we got it for like $5.
Yeah, we bought it for $5.
Our subtotal was $25, but this is back when they were paying for shipping and everything.
Yeah, so they paid nearly $40 for it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and we sold it to them, and it was a clean, easy transaction.
Yeah. And early on, guys, like these are our listings, right? This was literally on the coffee table at my apartment. You can see the keys and snacks.
Yeah, exactly.
In the background, and this sold.
Yeah.
For a profit.
Exactly. You don't have to be a great photographer. You just have to figure out how to click a button.
Yeah. We recommend.
You recommend
trying.
Of course.
But this is how we started. Yeah. Right? It's like we were just like throwing stuff on eBay.
Yeah.
We had this. We mentioned the little pop things or whatever.
Yeah, pop Funkos.
Yeah.
Funko Pops.
We just started with buying random stuff, and this one again they paid for shipping, saved us. We only sold it for $5.
Yeah. Exactly.
Probably bought it for like $1 or whatever. The Coca-Cola trays, I feel like this was something that was, like, really cool. Like, when you buy it, we're like, oh, vintage Coca-Cola trays.
Vintage Americana.
Yeah, and, who wouldn't want a Coca-Cola tray? Now, we've learned recently, like, there's a lot out there that are kind of not worth it.
Yeah,
you know?
they're fakes.
Yeah, and just, you know, like, theirs were overproduced. But, you know, felt really lucky. We just bought them so cheap that we were able to undercut the rest of the market, forcing them to sell faster.
Yeah.
And so that was a part of our business model for a while.
Oh, you know, I think we see we see it. You have to talk about it.
I mean, I'll be honest, guys. I think this is where Mr. Rink and myself realized, like, oh, this is gonna work.
Yeah,
and
this is possible.
Pure luck, pure luck. So we go to this garage sale. We're driving through the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I catch a bright red leather jacket, like, up front on this garage sale. Beeline to it. We park. We stop. We're looking around at other things, not showing too much interest in it, right? And then these two lovely older ladies.
Oh, they loved us.
Yeah, referred to Mr. Rink here as Elvis.
Oh yeah, apparently I look like him.
Just
splitting image.
Twins almost.
I know, right?
What a great time. So we're chatting. We're having a great time. This is also part of the fun of garage sales. Is that we just love talking to people and just, you know, existing in their...
Yeah. We're in their world, but they're living with us.
Yeah, yeah. We can't control how good their day is going to be, but we can control how weird it's going to be.
Oh, yeah. We can make it weird.
And it's always polite and respectful, but, you know, it's also just, like, it's fun because, you know...
It's mild heckling. It's...
Banter.
Healthy banter.
Yeah, they want to sell things. We want to buy things.
Yeah. And we want to do it for a relatively low price.
Saturday morning.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's had their coffee. It's a great day.
Exactly.
So we stop and we get this Betty Boop jacket.
Look at this thing.
I think they wanted $50 for it. We checked in, I don't know, 25?
Oh, yeah, 20, 25 at most. We wouldn't have gone too crazy.
Right. And so we sold this on auction because we didn't really know what we were doing on eBay, which is fine. But we listed it pretty much for the sales price that we wanted. And, yeah, what a cool jacket. I mean...
It was beautiful.
But this was that item that we sold for 25. Within a week, it sold for $190.
Yeah. 100, and then after fees, because, you know, that's a subtotal. That's 175. That's not talking about shipping and some of the other numbers.
Sure.
But still, that's...
Let's call it 140.
Yeah, 140. $20 and 100. If you had to burn a $20 bill, but then you got given $140 in cash.
Right. I'll take that any day.
Any day.
And so that was... Now, we started with $200 in our bank account.
Yeah.
Now, you know, at the time eBay was holding on to our money, but, you know, a week later, after selling this item, we already, like, we have $300 in our bank account.
Exactly.
So, hey, how's it going? Awesome.
Oh, donuts.
Love donuts.
We appreciate it.
We're in the middle of our first YouTube video. Do you want to come join us?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
That's all good.
Well, I mean, literally, guys, we're running this out of
our garage.
Out of our garage. So,
But it keeps it real, folks.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is Rink and Rasa.
Yeah, this is life.
Right? Dude, we got donuts now.
Oh, donuts are even better.
We're
We're gonna have a great treat after this, everyone.
Yeah. Sales and donuts, man. It's
beautiful.
It's lovely.
Okay, so Betty Boop leather jacket, that did fantastic. Okay?
Yeah.
That was
first real big.
Oh yeah.
Big win.
Exactly.
Now, what did we do naturally as a business? Well, next weekend we got to garage sale. We're gonna bring, you know, $200 with us. We were thinking, like, put everything back into the business.
Oh yeah.
We need to get things to sell.
Yeah. Oh.
So.
Yeah. Beautiful. Oh, you know, I think we have to talk about the statue.
Yeah.
Those.
I mean, guys, these are the first base hits. So between the Betty Boot jacket, we got a golf grip for, you know, 99 cents, but they paid for shipping, so we made like $1 on shipping. Sure.
Yeah.
Shoes for $23, right? Like, these are the first base hits. 99 cents. We're doing auctions.
And then what do you know? Tom Clark.
Samuel,
Mark Twain. So
don't tell your father.
Oh, you don't spoil everything, my friend.
Jeez.
So what it was is we went to a garage sale yet again. A woman and her grown child, her adult child, they were cleaning out their house, I believe the parents' house.
Like about to move,
downsizing, usual story we get. And we look at these nice older statues. We don't know anything about them, of course, but we look them up, and then, you know, we see an 80% sell-through rate going for like $150, $170 a pop, and there were 5 statues. Okay, and you know, I said they said, what can you do for price? I said, well, how about $20? And I'm just thinking, please say yes, just because $20 is just the right amount. She said, how about 50? How about 40? Don't tell your father. That's what she told to her adult son. She looked over and told him, don't tell your father. And so we immediately loaded them up into the car and we ran because we recognized that they were a good deal. And this was just one statue.
Right.
All 5 of them for $45, and the first one we sold made $150. The
Right.
rest is free money at that point.
And the cool thing about this too is like this is early on in our garage sale, so we didn't have our like unspoken, language or anything yet. But Joe just comes over here and he's like, dude, we gotta get these.
Yeah.
And and I remember within the week, right, we're like Tom Clark has sold.
Yeah, the Tom Clark statue sold the first one, and it only took one. Okay, the rest of them, some of them sold for $70, $80.
Right.
And that really, actually, what that one was, if the Confederate we sold, if you want to scroll down like 2 or 3.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, the Confederate statue ones, those soldiers, it was a pair of Civil War soldiers. That really was an eye-opening moment for us, at least in the shipping department, because that was a refund. We had to refund the $100. It was cool that we sold it, but we lost money on that, and it was because the item broke upon delivery. And the post office, they reimbursed us, so we at least got our money out, thank God.
But we didn't know that we were going to.
No.
And so when you ride a high from like this Tom Clark, $100 profit after everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we go to sell the
Civil War
statues,
yeah.
right? And then all of a sudden it's like we're having to refund $100, and we're out not only the item that can make us money, the cost of shipping, which was like $20, $30, and we also had a disgruntled customer.
Yeah.
But a well-needed part in our business is realizing like we can't just slap things in a box and call it good. Even though we got refunded, we want our customers to be happy.
Yeah, that was when we were just slapping in a box and calling it a day. We didn't think about packaging it, think about doing it safely, because everything else we sold was a golf grip. Okay, what are you going to put? Do you need 2 feet of bubble wrap for that? Do you need something fancy? Right. No, we just thought toss in a mailer, call it a day.
Right.
That's all we thought.
Right. And this is the part of like, saving money. Some places can actually cost you money later.
Yeah.
And this is the learning curves that we talked about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're gonna make mistakes, and I guarantee we're gonna continue to make mistakes.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I still the Tom Clark
they were
fantastic.
Because those were the only ones that broke. The other 3 we learned. Cause we bought 5, 2 broke. The Mark Twain sold. So we had the last 2 that sold.
Right.
They sold. No.
And it was an immediate calibration. Like now we started packaging better. They arrived there safely, no problems. So like, oh cool, we've learned.
Exactly, whole enchilada.
Yeah, fantastic.
So and then I think we're starting to see some wool.
Wool,
this is the first one. Okay, and what's really fun about the wool is that we bought originally only 2 or 3 boxes because we were playing around with it, and then I think by 3 or 4 days later.
I think it was the same night.
Oh, same night.
So we bought the boxes and we listed them.
Oh, yeah.
And
then,
this is part of the luck thing, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, that night, one of them sold for full price. Like,
right away.
We didn't discount, we didn't sell right away. And that's where, after a long day on Saturday, I call Mr. Rink and say, tomorrow morning, man.
We got to do it.
We got to do it. Yeah. And we didn't want to do it.
No.
But
we enjoyed it. We made ourselves enjoy it nonetheless.
Yeah, we had a great time once we were there. But it was one of those things where it's like we saw the opportunity. So the logic was that there was like 88 of these that we bought, and they were selling for $1 per box. And we saw online that each little skein, each little individual thing of wool sold for $1. So you can sell a box for 14.
Yeah.
So you turn $1 into 14, and we had 100 of them.
Easily. We had 80 of them.
Yeah.
We were able to scale it like there's no other. And and one of the things is that we learned, and we'll get into this later with listing, but we were able to make it, we had them all as individual listings, but then we were able to say, hey, we can calibrate as all one big listing because it's all the same product, just different colors and different amounts of different colors.
Right.
And so
it's, again, learning. This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
So, as you can see, then it's, shoes and jackets and electronics, and then we start getting into the wool now. Someone bought, 2 things of wool for $24, and then, more...
And that was... I'm sorry, my friend.
Yeah,
that was a learning curve because that was the first time someone bought 2 of the same one... one person bought 2 items.
Right. How do we combine shipping?
Exactly. How do we do this? Because we don't want to pay for shipping twice, especially if it's going to the same place.
Right.
And so that was a good learning curve for us because it happens. But now we know, okay, bing, bang, boom, here's what you got to do.
And this goes back to that mentality. The what ifs, the possibilities, the oh no's, right?
Yeah.
And what we did is we just did it.
Yeah.
And then solved the problems as they arrived.
Exactly.
And honestly, they weren't really problems.
No.
They were just opportunities to learn.
Yeah, and most are mild inconveniences.
Right. So did that, we're just going through, I mean, guys, just more random stuff. Video games.
Yeah.
We're going out to garage sales every single weekend, picking up as much as we can. Oh, man.
Oh, and now hold on. We have to talk about this one. Now, this one has sentimental value, okay? Not to me personally, but just to the story.
This lovely sweater.
We went to a sweet little lady's garage sale, okay? Sweet grandma. Meemaw. Love her. She had a pie in the oven ready.
Yeah.
And she was trying to sell some of her clothes, and I don't know which grandchild got this for her, but one of them did. She told us, but we forgot. And she said, "How about $3?" And I said, "What?" And I'm, Mr. Rosso, I think he can testify. I drive a hard bargain. I cut pretty close to the teeth.
Yeah.
And
loves a good deal.
Oh, I am love it. And I countered back with saying, "How about we do $1, okay, made in the United States, and a high five worth $2?" And the sale went through.
Right.
We got this item for $1 because you have to be charming. That's what it's all this is. Yeah. It's selling to on eBay. You don't have to be charming. That's just numbers. Right. Buying from people, you have to be able to communicate, be able to, and walk away. If you walk away, if we didn't get that, we didn't get it. It's not going to break anything.
Yeah. We weren't going to die on the hill for a sweater.
Oh yeah.
But to have a fun conversation and a little bit of banter and just, have someone say, "Yeah, okay, I'll give you a deal," and I love giving you that deal.
Yeah.
That's the joy.
That's because we've gone to plenty of garage sales where we don't buy anything.
Yeah.
We've gone to plenty where we pull up and there's nothing there, and we'll get shooed away because we're a little abrasive and aggressive with our sales tactics.
Yeah.
So
because a used coffee maker isn't worth $35.
Exactly. Oh, people say they looked it up on eBay. Yeah, you looked up what other people are selling it for $35 on eBay, but people are buying it for $20. We'll buy it for you for $1.
Yeah. And it's not my job to correct you on that. We'll just walk away. We don't have to buy your stuff.
Exactly.
Right? But this sweater, we had no idea what it sold for or anything like that. Now, was it a grand slam? Hey, sold for $10.
No.
But man, what a lovely pink sweater and a great memory.
Exactly. Hopefully she remembers us.
Yeah, great time.
Yep. And then we got more wool.
Yep.
Okay, and I think, is this the one? This is the one.
Yeah.
This is one. If you look at the name, thank you, whoever you are. Okay, I can't pronounce it. El Cuso one.
A
Lucas. Oh yeah, El Lucas. They bought nearly $250 worth of wool.
Yep. And, based off of an ask.
Exactly.
So they bought these first two, and this was like the the art of upselling, right? It was like, hey, we saw that you bought some wool. If there's any other wool that you see that you would like, let us know. We'll combine shipping.
Yeah.
Because we knew how to do that now.
Exactly.
Right.
And
then they go, perfect. I'm gonna add it to my cart, and they added $250 worth of wool.
Yeah, they bought 18 boxes. And recognize we had bought 80 total. Okay, that was nearly 20%. Well, I don't know the exact number, but it was roughly 20% of our inventory.
Right.
Okay.
And we're turning $88 into 200 plus.
Yeah, and so now we are officially out of the hole. Right. Okay. What we sell from here on out is gratuitous.
Right. We thought it was just gonna be like, we're gonna sell one box, sell one box, sell one box. Well, here's this person buying 18 boxes, and we're like,
okay,
pretty awesome.
Yeah, and because it all ties back in the beginning. Because of the upsell, because they bought from us beginning, we said, hey, let us know. We will sell to you at a discount because you are now our customer.
Yep. And this is where we start leveraging time, right? That 13 seconds it took me to write that message turned into $200 in profit.
Exactly.
I mean, if you can make $200 every 15 seconds, I would.
Who wouldn't?
Right? And then, bang, there's the single wool sale. Now we're starting to get into like this wool is now selling and selling and selling. Yeah, it's good old times.
Yeah, and one of the things is that one of the items that we look at is, and this is for shipping, okay, is you could get a severe discount not only if you go through eBay, but if you do eBay media mail, okay? Movies, books, DVDs, CDs, those count as media mail. And so it'll be like only $3 or $4 for an item that usually be like 8 or 9 to ship. The kicker is that it has to be media mail. And obviously if you try to do anything against the law, we cannot condone that. No, sir. Yeah. So... But media mail does make it a lot easier to ship a lot more items for cheaper than you would imagine.
Right. Yeah, and it's significantly cheaper. Now, it takes longer to get there.
Of course.
But, we're not Amazon Prime.
Yeah, exactly.
So, just quick note, this was a really awesome sale here, this fire detector. The reason why is it was a garage sale that was right across the street from us. We walked over there. We got this for 50 cents, listed it, sold within 30 minutes. And that's where we looked at sell-through rate for the first time.
Yeah.
When there was like 100 listed and 3,000 sold, you're just like, whoa. This literally sold within 30 minutes of listing. And how did that happen and why did it happen?
Yeah.
And I think from there on out, we were like, we want to do that over and over again.
Yeah, we want to find items, because there's the risk that you run with operating an eBay business is that you become a hoarder. You have a lot of stuff, and you not for personal use, and you can have it all listed. Mm-hmm. But if you buy a bunch of stuff that doesn't sell that well, sure, it might be a fat margin. Bought for $1, it sells for $10,000, but you have to hold on for 2 to 3 years, okay? Right. And that's on top of other inventory you'd be having, as well as just wherever it's stored. You're either a storage locker, your personal residence, an office if you have it, a warehouse.
Yeah.
Well, if it's a warehouse,
let's be honest, most of us are it's going to be your spare bedroom, your living room, your garage.
Exactly.
Right.
So you don't want to have a lot of clutter. So you have to figure out how can we turn this, how can we put our cash in, how do we get our cash out as fast as possible?
And just from a business point of view, that's it, right?
Yeah.
It's like, how quick can I turn this money over to build? And that was our goal, right? We're turning $200 into $1 million. Mm-hmm. Like, you got to turn that money over.
Yeah, you have to start. You have to sell. Like you can't. It's stuff that you might not necessarily buy yourself, and that's okay. There's a lot of things on eBay that I personally wouldn't pay for.
Yep. Do I need a fire alarm? No, but I spent 50 cents on it and turned it into $42 within 30 minutes.
Exactly. Who wouldn't take that?
Yeah. And now this is the knowledge going into year 2, where now it's like fire alarms.
Yeah.
Right. Like if we see them, we're trying to get them. Now we've learned that. This one in particular, the Kittle Fire X, did really well. Most fire alarms are meh. But this one does really well. So, keep your eyes out. Guys, we'll just more first base hits, couple video games. We're picking up video games for like $1 a piece. They sell for 20. Great.
Yeah. Car manuals, those are, you wouldn't imagine it, but we bought this Nissan Rogue manual for, and neither of us have a Nissan, which is the best part.
We got it at a garage sale.
Yeah, they bought for $1, but it sold for nearly $30.
Right. And the reason why we saw this is because I was watching YouTube videos on other resellers, and they said, "Oh, like we got this car manual and it sells for $30."
Yeah.
So it's kind of now having the conversation at the garage sale. It's like, how low can we get it? And they go, "Why would you want an old used car manual?
Why would it matter? Yeah. We have money.
For $1, I would."
Yeah.
And there we are. So. We early on, if you guys noticed, we started like labeling like what we bought them for. These custom SKUs are like how much we bought them for. You guys can see how much we sell. We kind of stopped doing that now because like we have a general idea of like what we pay for things.
Yeah, we're just going off of mental memory, and we're letting eBay run a system.
Which we're very passionate about our eBay business, so it's pretty easy to do. Like, oh yeah, that garage sale was awesome.
Every day, we this is usually a daily conversation between us.
Yeah.
About like there's usually some. If it's nothing else, it's just saying, hey, did you see this thing sold? Yes, great.
Right. Which, yeah. It's fantastic.
I love it. I love it.
It's a great time. Guys, this video, I don't even know how long it is. It might be getting long-winded, but we're doing this just to catch you up on where we're at so that our short-form content moving forward makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to repeat. A lot of this is like, you guys can pause the video and take a look. It's like backpacks that we're buying for $3, selling for $30.
Or what you could do is you can go onto our website. You can actually go check us out, Rincon Rosso on eBay.
Yeah. And you can see what we have listed now.
Exactly. And, if you reach out to us in the comments, either on YouTube or just reach out to us on eBay, let us know. We're happy to make a deal.
Yeah. If you say like, hey, I saw your video and you're, subscribed and liked on our channel, like we'll hook you guys up.
Yeah, we'll hook you up with wherever we can find in people's garage sales.
Yeah.
It's a great deal, but hey, you don't know that you need like a rangefinder, okay? Or an binocular.
An optic explorer.
Or an optic explorer until you find it on our website. And then you say, gosh, I wish I bought that.
Yeah.
But don't worry, we got a lot of things for a lot of y'all.
The one thing I wish we had more of were chemicals.
Yeah.
Well, we met this guy who had like a whole garage. He owned like a flower shop or whatever. He had a whole garage full of chemicals. And this is kind of like the wool thing because we had already experienced wool. We saw like, oh, we could buy 300 packs of Roundup and make one listing with a quantity of 300 and just sell them all out. Now, we were a little chicken foot about it, so we didn't buy all of them.
No. But once we realized how much money was in, and then
back.
And so one concern that people have brought up to us was that saying, well, you're shipping chemicals in the mail. And our response was, yeah, but as long as you declare it. Because the thing, it just recognize it practically. You can't buy, for example, dangerous chemicals. You can't buy firearms on eBay.
Right.
Why would they sell something on eBay that you can't ship, that you can't do? As long as you declare it properly, That's all that matters. And that just means checking one box on the app.
Yeah. And how did we find that out? Because that was a question, like, can we ship chemicals? Well, we looked it up, and
Yeah.
we saw that this exact thing was selling on eBay. So we were like, well, if someone else is selling it, we can sell it too.
Exactly.
Right.
We're not trailblazing to sell brand new things. We're not trying to sell like, uranium-235.
Right.
Okay, we're selling Roundup.
Now, as you guys can see, we bought it for $4. We sold it for $14.99, but they paid for shipping.
Yeah.
So there's that margin, right?
Exactly.
And, we could have sold it more, but this is going into winter. Like,
Mm-hmm.
who's buying Roundup in wintertime? No one, except for, like, Florida and Arizona, which is what we learned.
Mm-hmm.
But so we heavily discounted it, and we were still, because we bought it so cheap, we're able to make good money on it, even during the wintertime.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, following the same trend, look, another bulk order for $72.
Yeah, I mean, the wool is pretty much printing money at this point. 'Cause it comes in every so often.
After that $200 order, we had already doubled our money. Now it's just
now it's gratuitous.
Yeah. We did the work up front. All we gotta do is just get it to the post office once it sells.
Exactly.
Another bulk order.
Yeah. I think that's one of the last Tom Clark statues.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
$45. We had already made our money off the first one. Remember, guys?
Yeah, exactly.
So, and that's kind of our mentality when we buy things. Like, if we can sell one item and make our money off, everything else is kind of free.
Yeah.
Not really a true mentality.
No, but
like,
it's still nice thing if you have at least one home run in a box full of first basers, then you know that you're set.
Yep.
Like you just have to.
everything else of that is just money.
Exactly.
So then, and then here's like, guys, months later, now we're like November, right?
Yeah.
And we sold an item that we bought our very first day garage sale.
Yeah. This was one of the original ones.
Yeah, and here's another one.
Yeah.
Very first day garage selling.
Yeah, and this is one of the things that they'll kind of, if you know, its custom SKU is 0, so we didn't pay anything for this, but it took so blessed long, and a factor that we had to recognize was that just because it says Marvel, or just because it has a brand on it, doesn't necessarily mean it's all good.
Right.
That's a very obscure comic from the 80s that neither of us had heard of, but I picked up saying, hey, it's Marvel.
And the trip to the post office to like make $2.
Yeah, wasn't worth it.
Back in the back at this time, right? We're only selling 1, 2, 3 items a week.
Mm-hmm.
Versus now we're selling multiple items a day. So like we're going to the post office almost every day. But
Yeah.
Back then it was kind of like, and this started rising up questions like, do we sell things that only profit us at least $20?
Yeah, exactly.
Or are we okay with everything? And I think it comes back to we're in this business to make money. So anything that makes us money, we're gonna.
Exactly, we're gonna do it.
Yeah. I mean, guys, now we're getting repetitive, right? There's shoes that we're getting at garage sales.
Yeah.
There's more of the chemicals that we picked up, these repeat sales, which we have really, really enjoyed.
Oh, yeah.
We're starting to get repeat buyers, so people who have loved doing business with us, coming back to do more business with us. I mean, guys, we're growing, and we just want to keep doing that.
Yeah, so this is...
The arc of, this is just single base hits.
Yeah, single bases. These are small little one-offs. Some wool pops up every so often. We did start dabbling in electronics. We'll get into it in another video because that's really what we focused on this last summer. And a little bit at the end of the other one.
$5 into 27.
Yeah, good deals, but like what to look for, how to find them, and how to really try to buy them for a good deal.
Right. So yeah, guys. I mean, that is our first history, our first year history, which wasn't actually a full year.
No.
We
started in, I imagine May.
Yeah.
So it would be like 6 to 7 months. So it wasn't a whole year, but recognize this is what $200 in 6 months can do if you can afford to spend an hour a day doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because it's super straightforward.
And we don't want to like bore you guys too much with it, but I think again going back into the numbers, right? So if we go to our performance and we go to our sales and we just do that first year, right? We can actually take a look at last year.
Yep.
It's probably going to take a while to generate because it's a while ago, but this is from what January to December, which we didn't do eBay for the full year.
No,
right?
exactly. But recognize that was our initial $200 investment. Okay, we have the top line figure. Okay, which is that includes taxes because Uncle Sam's got to get their cut. Why not?
But this is like what we have sold, right? So we turned $200 into actual almost $3,000 in sales.
Yeah, exactly. Just top line.
Which our net afterwards was $1,500. So 6 months time, 200 into 1,500.
Yeah.
Right, we've 7x'd our money.
Well, even if you want to break it down further than that, because that's not counting usually the cost of the item itself.
Right.
That's still like $1,000. Okay, 200 into $1,000 for 6 months worth of work. I mean, it is work. We can't lie to you.
Right.
It's not going to be sitting around on your ass.
But man, we had so much fun doing it.
Oh, it's great. if we can do it, anyone can do it.
Yeah. And maybe a little sneak peek, right? So this was our first 6 months, our first summer of garage sailing, our first winter at the bins. If we go to this year, where again, what is it? It's mid-October now, so we haven't even finished our full year. I mean, look at these increases.
Yeah.
So $3,000. Now we're doing $16,000.
Yep.
We've done $9,200 in profit, right? And obviously we have to pay for the cost of goods and everything.
Of course, but still, that's still a healthy return. Yeah. At most, it'd be like 7,000 or 8,000.
Mm-hmm. We're increasing our average sale price of items from like $22 an item up to $28, which when you're selling, 582 items.
Yeah, when you're selling more,
it's good.
We are doing quite well, but. We'll show you all these numbers in greater details because we do want to break this stuff down for you, but we need to make sure we fully understand it all.
Yeah. And if you guys want to go into specific categories of what we sold and those numbers, we will do that.
Yeah.
Honestly, whoever sees these videos, in future us, hope you guys are doing awesome, staying well. Hopefully you still have a full head of hair. But for everyone else, until then, let us know. If you guys want to see anything, have any questions, we are excited to share our progress because future versions of us is going to appreciate it now. So let us know if you guys have any questions. And yeah, we'll keep
sharing, talk to y'all later.
Yeah, what we're doing. So
okay.